Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to start this video off by giving a trigger warning that I'm probably going to talk about my mental health journey a little bit. So if hearing about like depression or specifically bipolar or anything like that is triggering for you, if you have any substance abuse issues that you prefer not to have dredged up, then this may not be the video for you. I want this to be a safe space for everybody. I just kind of want to share a little bit about what's been going on with me. And I thought I would do that while I put some fun little pieces into my journal. The moleskine that I covered in my last video, because as you guys know, I've been really enjoying, I guess, kind of like chaotic journaling, not going in order, gluing stuff down, gluing stuff down ahead of time, gluing stuff down like, again, out of order. And I found some stickers and printables that I had done a while back, and I've got some little like pieces of paper from like my art journaling that I can incorporate if I want to. So I just wanted to do that really quick and talk to you guys. So first things first, it's been about, I think, 12 days since I have posted a video. And if I'm being completely honest, part of it is just that I have been going through a little bit of a depressive episode. Back in 2016, I was diagnosed with bipolar. I think it's bipolar 2, but that could be wrong. I always get them mixed up. So please don't take my word for that, but I have a lot of like smaller episodes that I go through. And anyways, it just makes things a little bit difficult. Hold on. I'm going to look for my tape runner real quick. Even better, I found a glue stick. Okay, so I was diagnosed back in 2016 with bipolar, and even though, the depression has always been somewhat prevalent, I've always been someone who's very much in her head. It definitely became noticeable when I started experiencing like very distinct manic episodes. And a couple weeks ago, if you follow my Instagram, you probably know that I was spending time submitting to a lot of lit mags for my poetry. And the question was raised as to whether or not I was in the middle of a manic episode, which is kind of always a little bit of a crappy feeling, because you think that you have things under control, and then all of a sudden you have a lot of energy, and you're getting a lot of stuff done, which if you have ADHD like I do is a struggle. And then you have to question whether or not you are swinging at the other end of the spectrum. I'm just gonna fix this real quick. So it gets a little emotional, because I'm either, beating myself up because I'm not accomplishing a lot because of my ADHD, which up until this last year had gone undiagnosed. Or on the other side, I am struggling because I am getting things done, but then I have to wonder if that energy is coming from like an actual place of like productivity, or if I am spinning off into hypomania. So luckily, between my support system and medication and like mindfulness activities and check-in systems that I've developed between therapy and the tarot and my support system with my husband, and then also very heavily with my journaling, I'm able to kind of, even if I do go into an episode, I'm able to kind of manage it. But then afterwards, I always kind of tailspin into a depressive episode, which is just part of it. I am always somebody who has a little bit of depression going on. I don't really know what the good term is for that, but that's kind of like the underpinnings. If you've ever seen some of my social media posts, you can probably tell there are days where I have like more energy, and there are days where I am probably on the other side of the spectrum, really sad or introspective, and it kind of goes back and forth. So number one, I appreciate you guys providing a community for me to show up in, because it does give me a little something extra that is just for me, as opposed to, you know, I am a stay-at-home mom, and sometimes that can feel like a pretty invisible and thankless job. Not that my family does that on purpose, but that's just kind of, it goes with the territory, right? When you get into your day-to-day life. And the people that you love, they don't intend to, you know, overlook you or not see you or hold space for you, but sometimes that is what happens, and it is just kind of the name of the game. I am very fortunate. I have a relationship that is very sturdy, and we have very open communication. So I am grateful for my husband, who always is there and also knows a lot of my triggers and a lot of my anxieties, so he can help me. And again, showing up in, I know social media has come under a lot of scrutiny, rightfully so, in the way that it like harvests our attention, in the way that it can lead to something like doom scrolling and, you know, comparing ourselves to others, which I do fall victim to. But I also really appreciate a space that I need to show up into, or that I look forward to showing up into, because, you know, even on a day where I maybe, you know, put my kids on the bus and then lay back down because that's all I have energy to do, you know, I can, once I feel like it, I can, you know, work up a post or make some art to share with everybody. And it's just that idea of being seen and having a space that's mine. So I wanted to share some gratitude with you guys, because I'm very grateful that you share this little corner of the internet with me. And I also just wanted to check in with you guys and share a little bit about what's been going on. Side note, I will tag below some of the people whose printables and stickers I'm using, where I have that information. So if you're seeing something you're interested in, definitely check out the description here. I just did that. But I also, I mentioned the fact that tarot has been a big part of the journey for me, because it gives me a little bit of like sovereignty when I'm not actively in therapy, which I am actively in therapy right now, but I am not always in a position where I need to be, so, or that my schedule will allow it. So, you know, my tarot practice and my journaling practice, which feed into each other and are mutually, are exclusive to each other at the same time, really helps me ground and connect to myself and start looking at things through different lenses than I normally would. If you are somebody who falls victim to rumination, where you start thinking of like all of the negative scenarios, or like thinking about things that happened in the past that you wish you could change, that's something that I do a lot as a recovering addict. I have a lot of regrets, and I try to be really gentle with myself, and pulling cards and journaling about it helps me work through some of those feelings and to back myself out of just the rumination and start observing the thought patterns behind it, which lead to me understanding that it's not coming from a helpful place. It's usually coming from a place where I'm like sabotaging myself. So those practices have been really helpful to me. If you are on my Instagram, you know that I'm having a giveaway right now, and one of the things in my giveaway is that I'm going to be offering a tarot collage to, among other things, to the first place winner, and then there's 2 runner-up winners that will get a free PDF tarot reading from me that gets delivered to your inbox. And I wanted to share that with you guys in case you don't read tarot for yourself, or if you're like me, you maybe didn't want to spend the money on it to order a reading because it's not something that you're super familiar with. When I first started getting into spiritual stuff and tarot, you know, I really wanted to experience someone else reading for me, but it was something that I had a hard time reconciling spending money on. So one thing that I do is that I always try to offer giveaways and opportunities for people to get insights from my tarot practice and the way that I read the cards in a way that's accessible for them. So go check out my Instagram if you haven't. I only have it there because it's easier to track entries that way, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I've got all the rules listed there, and there's some pretty good prizes. It's like a handmade vegan tarot card pouch, or it could be a pouch for anything. I crocheted it. And then also a, gosh, I can't even remember everything now. The tarot collage and, a handmade trash journal that I made out of a paper bag, like a paper grocery bag. So definitely go check that out and enter if you are interested. And as always, I also have, you know, all of these options for purchase available in my Etsy shop. And if for any reason price is a concern for you, you can reach out to me and we can discuss some type of trade. I do that for my zines, but I also do that for my other offerings, all the way up to my crochet pieces. I only offer custom tarot pouches and custom granny hexagon sweaters. I don't know the technical name of it, but I try to only pick things that I can work up easily, that are easy and customizable for people, because people usually like to pick their own stuff. Then I have a couple ready to ship options as well. But if for any reason the prices aren't accessible for you, or it's, you know, not something you can spend money on right now, you can reach out to me and we can set up some kind of trade. I want this, you know, I want my offerings to be available to people if they want them. And I think I've said that enough, so I will move on. So in my last video, I was talking about how sometimes I just don't have the capacity to do a lot. You know, sometimes it's as simple as just sitting with my journal and gluing stuff down is all that I want to do, or all that I have energy for at that moment. And so I wanted to take you guys along with me on that journey and check in with you. If you guys have any questions also about bipolar, if you have questions about active addiction, especially with alcohol, or if you have any concerns about undiagnosed ADHD or neurodiversity, if it's something that you've been questioning that's going on with you personally, I invite you to message me on Instagram if that feels right for you. I am not a mental health professional, so I do want to say that right off the bat. I cannot offer advice or a diagnosis or anything like that, but I can share my experience and hold space for you in the experiences that you have had, and just kind of like help you. Sometimes it just feels good to say things that we are thinking of out loud, or, you know, in a chat space, to see how it feels like outside of our brain, to see if it feels like it's something that our brain has just made us focus on unnecessarily, or if it's something that maybe we need to pursue further. And if my experiences can help anybody else, you know, lead to some type of healing or resolution for them, in understanding themselves better, then I would very much like to offer that for you. Because sometimes, you know, like when I was still drinking, and I kind of knew that I had a problem, but I have social anxiety, so I wasn't gonna be, it's not like I was gonna head to an AA meeting. I was also, I wasn't very spiritual, and I knew that there was kind of a heavy focus on that. So it wasn't a space that I felt that I could turn to and actually feel supported. And it wasn't until I met my husband and I had the support and like the open listening from him where I actually was able to, and I was in active therapy, solo therapy sessions where I was able to do that. Therapy is not accessible for everybody. It is something that I am not a super huge fan of in this country, that people aren't able to get access to services that may be helpful for them. So, all of that to say, if any of this is something that you've been concerned about with yourself, you can feel free to message me anytime. That's all I want to say. And like I said, even if it's just to vent or to, be concerned about like one thing or another, I am very open to talking to people in my DMs, although, and the best way to do that is through Instagram. I appreciate you guys sitting with me today and helping me decorate my journal a little bit. I hope you have an excellent day and excellent weekend. Okay, bye.